As the destructive fire of the Clone Wars blazed across the galaxy, its flames soon engulfed a minor outlying world when the Republic invaded it after the planet's governors were discovered to be sheltering and funneling credits to the Confederacy. With the battle still raging nearby, 3 friends native to the planet moved through the city's rubble, seeking safe transport off-world. While walking past the corpses of fallen clones, the trio overheard comm chatter from one of the helmets ordering all available troopers to prepare the transfer of Separatist resources. Having worked in the city's banks before the war, Rate informed the 2 brothers with him, Wes and Bryn, that the resources the order was referring to were in fact the immense treasures stored within the capital's vaults, filled with stacks of Republic credits and other currencies, along with precious gems and valuable artifacts. Realizing most of it was off the books and that no one would notice if they grabbed some of the loot for themselves, the group settled on pulling the heist of a lifetime before making it off-world like bandits with their untold riches. With little time remaining to reach the vault before the clones, the trio hastily came up with a plan, hoping to take advantage of the skirmishes still occurring in the city as cover for their heist. They grabbed whatever clone armor was around to disguise themselves as a means of slipping by the Republic checkpoints without being apprehended. After finding a functioning land speeder, the trio sped through the capital's streets until reaching the financial district and disembarking to draw less attention to themselves. As they snuck through the wreckage, avoiding both clones and droids, the group soon found their initial path towards the vaults obstructed by ongoing fighting between the 2 armies. Before leaving to find another way around, Wright noticed a family caught in the middle of the occurring battle. Recognizing the father as his longtime coworker from the bank and having met his family several times at dinner, Wright hesitated for a moment, fully aware of the tight schedule that they were on if the heist was to be successful. But his conscience got the better of him, with Wright calling out for the 2 brothers to help him save the family. Despite pushback from Bryn for them to leave them behind, Wes, on the other hand, decided that it was time to flex by casually walking up ahead and readying his sniper rifle. Once finding his target, Wes fired a single shot, which directly hit an artillery shell in the process of being loaded by a B-1 battle droid, causing a massive explosion and wiping out the entire droid platoon. As the smoke settled, Wright ran out and shouted for the family to come with him to safety. However, he forgot that he was still wearing clone armor, and when the family noticed him, they all started blasting. Understanding their confusion, Wright and Wes began to flee, while Bryn ego-challenged the family by charging them with his blaster, before being reminded that they were all on the same side, with him quickly rejoining his group as they sprinted away from danger. With no more distractions left, the trio finally arrived at one of the banks the clones had yet to reach. Once inside, they all went to town as they stuffed as much loot as they could in their bags. However, Bryn got too greedy by clearly grabbing far more than he could reasonably carry back, with the 2 brothers quickly getting into an argument over this. While this was happening, outside of the open vault stood a clone commander alongside his troops, dumbfounded by what they were seeing upon their arrival. Realizing they were caught, Wright quickly informed the commander that they were here to transfer the resources as earlier ordered, and that the 3 of them were all that remained of their squad after an encounter with a droid cannon. Believing his story, the commander had the 3 friends fall in line with the rest of his men who were to help finish transferring the Separatist loot. Without any opportunity to slip away, the trio were forced to carry the loot towards the Republic Venator, along with other clones. Once aboard, they soon realized that they were stuck on the ship upon hearing it lift off. While the 2 brothers argued over whose fault it was, Wright sat silently, contemplating the irony of his situation. He was finally off of the war-torn planet surrounded by treasure, yet was more trapped than ever as he was being taken to another battlefield, all the while being mocked by the riches around him that were no longer his for the taking. And with that the story ends, with the fate of the 3 friends afterwards being left unknown.